And welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the Patriots edition. I almost said Buffalo Bills again. We were just talking about the Bills episode, and I was like, oh, we almost went right back into it. The Patriots episode, where we have a special guest. It's your third time, Bob?
Yes.
It's Bob's third episode he's returned for, so welcome back, Bob, for the Patriots episode. I think we've mentioned in the past 2 episodes he's been here that he's a big Patriots fan, so we had to bring him here for the Patriots.
Just a smidge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I guess we'll get right into it.
Hold on. Before we start, though.
Oh, sure.
Disclaimer for this episode. I have 2 different lists.
2?
Yes. I have the player list, then I have a realistic list. So I'll just go through it as we go through it. So
I'm confused.
So well,
which one
he just has kind of a funny joke.
So as we get into it, you'll understand what's going on here.
Okay. Okay. All right, then. Well, Drew, who's your number 4?
My number 4 is Andre Tippett.
He's also my number 4.
He is my number 4.
He's my number 5.
Oh.
My number 3.
Oh, there you go. Right in the list.
I don't have that one.
That one? I don't have that one.
And then my number 4 on the other list is a ballpoint pen. Without this ballpoint pen, the Patriots cannot write and sign false injury reports.
Oh, wow.
Now do you understand?
I got you.
Yep.
All right.
Well, that was what, 3 of us that had Tippett?
No, 4.
Oh, 4 of us. Sorry.
Well, you had 5. You said 5. Did you have him, Alex?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So me, Drew, Wade, and Bob. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you got, Drew?
5-time All-Pro. 5-time Pro Bowl, 4-time All-Pro. He's on the All-80s team. He was one of the best players on their first Super Bowl appearance. He got into the Super Bowl for the first time in franchise history. They ended up losing, of course. But he was pretty consistent, and then he had a shoulder injury and a knee injury, which kind of you can see there where he just slowly went off. He never really came back.
He had 100 sacks in like 142 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 84 to 87, he had 57 sacks in 56 games.
That's pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
Well, I read for his career, his sacks per game average was like 0.66, which might not sound like a huge number, but it is pretty good, and it's 4th all time among linebackers in NFL history.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Hey.
But Pro Football Reference doesn't have tackles for him.
I saw that.
Yeah.
What did I read? They started recording tackles as a stat, I think, the year after he retired.
Maybe 90, officially.
Yeah, officially.
By the league or whatever. I don't know. We've had so much trouble with tackles.
I even tried to look it up somewhere else. I couldn't find it anywhere.
I couldn't either.
Yeah. Even unofficially.
Yeah, because sometimes you can get. Remember, you looked up Mike Singletary.
I found Mike and Dick Butkus's.
Yeah. But you think if someone could dig up Butkus, they could dig up Tippett, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he played in the 80s and 90s. It's not like he was, 60s, so I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
But nobody was interested in sitting there watching that mini film and counting them all, I guess.
I guess
He does have 2 touchdowns for his career.
Really?
Yes.
Everything I read, in his prime, there in that 5-year window, he was.
I can't remember if it was his first or second year. He had 18.5 sacks.
Yeah, it was
which I think
like
still a Patriots record.
Yeah, it's his 3rd year.
3rd year.
Yeah, he has 18.5, and the next year he has 16.5.
Then he had a 12.5 sack season somewhere too.
Yeah.
I thought I read somewhere where he had he set the record at one point for most sacks combined in consecutive seasons by an outside linebacker. I don't know if he still holds it or not.
Do we know where he's at in Patriots history for sacks?
Number 1, I believe.
Is he number 1?
I think the second place guy is 65 or something like that.
Big fall off there.
It's Willie McGinnis with 78.
78, all right.
And then it's Chris Slade with 51. There's some big gaps there.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Bob, but I don't think there's anybody on your team that's a prolific sack guy right now that might be
Not to my knowledge.
And your old best guy like last year, like Judon.
Oh, you guys
think
do have
so.
Matthew Judon.
Yeah,
I forgot about it. He is a big sack guy.
Well, I think, but he was a Raven before like last year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only been there 1 year, and he had 12.5 sacks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he does that for a handful of years, he'll climb the list rapidly. He won't be at 100, but I mean,
No.
I mean, 10th all time is Teddy Bruschi with 30. So
They had he wasn't there forever, but they had Chandler Jones for the first part of his career.
Chandler Jones had 36.
36. I know he was there for the first few years of his career before he left.
Richard Seymour only has 39. I would have thought he had more than that.
Richard
Really?
Seymour. Richard Seymour. I don't think he was ever a big sack guy. Really. I think he was decent. And
Yeah,
he
I
was
mean,
a great
I wasn't thinking.
He had
I don't
like a
think he
one
was
big
like
year,
a big,
but-
big time sack guy, but I thought more than 39 sacks in his career. You know.
He was a great.
Because I mean, he was there eight years, so I mean, 39 by that's
Well, yeah, he had Vince
only like
Wilfork
4.5
next to him,
sacks a year.
Yeah. Oh, Seymour.
Guy can plug 2 holes in the middle. I mean,
Will Forky. I like Will Fork.
I do too.
Their active leader in sacks is Dante Hightower with 27.
Isn't he the middle linebacker?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I guess they were always shuffling defenders in and out. So.
Well, and Belichick doesn't let players stay too long.
No,
Yeah.
no, he
He
doesn't.
moves them in and out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, does anybody else have anything to add on old Tippett before we move on? No. All right. Who has a 4 left?
I do.
I do.
Uncle Doug. Who's your number 4?
Rob Gronkowski.
There you go.
He's my number 2.
Ah.
He's my number 3.
He's my number 2.
He's also my number 3.
Well, what you got?
Bob didn't listen, huh?
You left Gronk off, huh?
Wow.
We're gonna have to have a talk, man.
I come from the Ben Coates era, though.
Oh, yeah, he was good, too.
All right. Well, what you got on old Gronk there, Uncle Doug?
Well, of course, he's been to 4 Super Bowls, 5 Pro Bowls, 4 All-Pros, 621 receptions, 92 TDs, 9,000 yards. He was kind of Tom Brady's safety blanket for a lot of years.
He's on the All 2010 team.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I went back and forth with he and Andre Tippett. And I had them both listed at 4, and I just finally decided when we sat down tonight I'd go with Gronk.
Don't him and Brady have the record for like touchdown duos?
Maybe for tight end, but Marvin and Peyton have well over 100, I think.
Yeah.
together.
I thought they had some record together.
Maybe postseason. Maybe.
Yeah, they've been together a lot. So
Gronk is 5th all time among tight ends and receiving yards.
Only the thing that really made him special was obviously he was a great pass catcher, but I think we talked about this the other day, Alex at the hospital, that he was a great blocker.
Shut up, Alexa.
Alexa just busted the door down.
Turn off.
I don't know what we just did
Well, I
there.
said your name, so
Oh yeah, maybe so.
maybe it cut up. But anyway, Gronk was a great blocker, unlike some other all-time great tight ends that just caught the ball.
He's also 3rd all time from tight ends and touchdowns.
okay.
If he were to come back this year and not stay retired, he could easily be number 1. I don't know, I shouldn't say easily. He's 10 from the number 1 spot. So it's possible to do it in a year. Anyway, I don't know if anybody else has anything to add, but my thought was Rob Gronkowski has a very, very solid argument to be the greatest ever at his position. And so I think he has to be on the Mount Rushmore for his team.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I put him at 2 as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So, 4 of us had. Did you have Gronk?
Yeah, he's my 3.
So everyone
Okay,
but
so-
Bob.
Everybody but Bob. Okay.
Drusiv, it is Peyton and Marvin have the record for touchdowns with 112 together.
Okay.
And then I think it's someone in Rice or before them. I want to say I don't know if it's Young or Montana. I want to say were number 2. I don't know.
All right.
That was
I
back in
was
the
watching
day.
one of their games. Like he scored one, and they were like they passed someone or something.
Unless this article is outdated, but yeah. And then I don't know what year this one came out, so we'll see how updated it is. But
Gronk doesn't even have that many touchdowns, so they
Yeah.
couldn't have.
Montana and Rice are second with. Well, maybe it's not going to tell me.
They have 105.
105.
They're second all time according to this list that I'm looking at right now.
It's second.
Yeah. So, but Peyton is on there twice.
Yeah, with
Reggie Wayne's like 5th with him.
Yeah.
So he's like 1st and
Yeah.
5th.
Jerry, the one I'm looking at, Jerry's on there with Steve Young and Montana.
Right, yeah. Jerry's on the list twice.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
They seem to be the only duos with over 100 though. Gronk and Brady and Manning and Harrison, because Rice and Montana had 92.
But yeah, it's interesting.
All right. What does anybody else have anything else to add on Gronk?
Gronky.
I have a question real quick. Anybody can answer it, but maybe a Patriots fan will be more inclined to answer it. Do you think if Aaron Hernandez doesn't turn out to be, like a serial killer, and he like stays in the league and continues to produce, do you think that would have helped Gronk because it would have helped coverage, or do you think it would have taken away catches for Gronk?
Probably both. I mean, I noticed when they played together that they'd have to decide when they ran 2 tight ends, well, who are we going to cover? Because, I mean, Aaron Hernandez was really good, too.
He was,
I mean,
yeah.
he was very talented. Maybe, I don't know if he's as good as blocker as Gronk, but they both were great pass catchers.
Does anybody remember what year he was done? Like Hernandez was done? Like what was his last year in the league?
Well, I know, I'm pretty sure he had just signed, got off like his rookie contract, had signed some sort of extension.
He had, yeah.
And then like got put in prison before he actually started getting the extension.
I think he signed the biggest extension for a tight end in NFL history, and then went to prison. I think.
So I think he only got like rookie contract money, and then, which I think he was like a mid-round draft pick. So it wasn't making buku bucks. I could be wrong. Maybe he was higher than I thought, but
I'm just trying to like look at Gronk's stats why Hernandez was there, and I just don't know what year Hernandez was gone. So
those were dark days because I thought he seemed to be a lot more sturdy than Gronk was.
He only played 3 years.
Yeah.
So he is okay.
He was
They played a full season together in 2011, and Gronk had 1,300 yards and 17 touchdowns. The next year they played together part of a season, and Gronk had almost 800 yards and 11 touchdowns, but that was in 11 games. Yeah, 11 games, yeah.
What was Hernandez's stats?
In 11, when Gronk had that big season, Hernandez had 900 yards and 7 touchdowns, so pretty nice season.
Yeah.
And the next season, he was hurt for a portion of the games too, and he had about 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. So they were a pretty dynamic duo, really.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy in the same team. You had like probably the best tight end that year, and then like the third best tight end in the league on the same team. And that's pretty crazy.
I mean, Gronk had some pretty big years. And you think about this, it wasn't that long ago that we had the first ever 1,000-yard season for a tight end. And, then you have guys like Gronk who have done it like 6 times.
Yeah. Kelsey's currently getting ready to do it like for the 7th time in a row.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Because a number of years ago, there had only been one tight end ever just string together 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. It was like a big deal. Greg Olsen did it. I think he was the first one to do it. And then Travis Kelce did it, and then is still doing it. He's got I think he's got at least like 6 in a row now or something like that. Travis Kelce does.
The other thing is that, we talked about it last week, quarterback-wise, with playoff success. Gronk has come up huge in multiple playoff spots. I remember a drive the year the Bucks won the Super Bowl. I mean, it's not a Patriots thing, but he's even as an old guy, Brady went to him like 7 straight plays on one drive, and he was like 6 of 7 for 50-some yards or whatever, and you're just like, this guy's so damn reliable.
Well, he's so huge. If you're a small defensive back, what the hell are you going to do to him? He's like 6'5" and just a monster.
They have him listed at 6'6", 265.
Yeah. Like, what are these tiny defensive backs going to do that weigh less than I do and, like, my height? Like, what are they going to do to Gronk?
No, I mean, that's really the thing is, like, you put a corner on him. Corners, he's not losing a corner. He's not outrunning a corner. He's not juking a corner. But he's just going to muscle them around. And the problem then is, once he catches it, can they tackle him?
Right.
And and then you bring in a safety, and that's a pretty even matchup athletically a lot of times. And they might be able to bring him down, but do they have the ball skills to keep him from getting the ball?
Or who's going over the top or
and then
something.
if you put a linebacker on him, he just smokes him.
Yeah.
And you're like, what do I do with this guy?
Well, I think above all, even if you have like a really big, tall, dominant corner, say like for example like Richard Sherman in his prime, and Brady just lobs the ball up. Who are these coming down with it? The 6'6", 265 guy or the 6'2", 215 guy? I got my money on the 6'6" guy. And I mean, like in that one Super Bowl against Seattle, was that the 4th one? I mean, they tried the little combination of Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Sherman, shifting all over to stop Gronk, and it didn't. He got him in the second half.
You would think Chancellor would have a legit shot at playing Gronk.
But I don't think Chancellor could guard.
No, Chancellor couldn't cover. That was his big problem.
He just hit people over the middle. He was a linebacker.
He just smoked people.
Yeah, he was a linebacker that played safety. Earl Thomas was too small, and Sherman, I don't really know how much they actually just told Sherman to do anything to Gronk. He might have just sat outside all game, to be honest. But, I mean, they played these kind of zone defenses off and on, so I'm sure him and Sherman were in the same vicinity a few times. But I don't know. He's just a matchup nightmare with how big he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he can block, which is more than...
He's not just a can-block guy. He's a really good blocking tight end. Like, they will leave him on an island with a defensive end. Which is crazy. I mean, and think about some of the other all-time great tight ends. Shannon Sharp didn't block anybody, and Gonzalez didn't block anybody.
What about Antonio Gates?
No.
Antonio Gates wasn't a good blocker. He was better than those first 2 guys we talked about, but he wasn't a good blocker. If you want to talk about a really good blocking tight end that also caught the ball, you're probably talking about Jason Witten.
Witten was a legit blocker.
Yeah.
Like, very good blocker.
Kelsey doesn't really block.
No. Jimmy Graham doesn't
Jimmy
block.
Graham never blocked. No. Kittle blocks.
George Kittle.
Kittle's a monster at
Yeah.
blocking.
Yeah, Kittle's
when he's on the field.
Yeah.
Kittle's a really good blocker. Yep.
He's so good at blocking that sometimes they don't let him go out and run routes. They keep him in to
He is good at
destroy
blocking.
people.
Actually, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about the best tight ends in football. That was like the premise of the whole episode, and they were talking about routes run per game, and Kittle was like way down the list.
Yeah, they keep him in the block all the
They keep
time.
him in the block a lot,
because he's so damn good at it.
but he also puts up ridiculous numbers in the pass game. Like, so,
Yeah.
I don't know.
If he went to a different offense, Kittle would put up crazy numbers if he stayed healthy. Like if he went to like a spread offense somewhere, which today's NFL is
right?
pretty
If you
common.
if you switched him and Kelsey,
Yeah.
like
Kittle would be killing bitches.
yeah. All right. Well, we're only a couple guys in, so I suppose we ought to keep
I just
moving
want to say
along.
I don't
here.
want to take nothing away from Gronk, but just didn't make my Mount Rushmore. He was good. He's good. Don't get me wrong, all time great, but just maybe my top 10.
10?
Hey, 5.
Well, let's move on. Who has a 4 left?
I do.
Bob, what you got?
Teddy Bruschi.
I told you guys, Bruce. I was telling the other day, Bob. I was like, I know he loves Brewski and Bledsoe. I bet at least one of them pops up.
Well, he played all of his whole career with New England. That was something for me. But they, what they say about him? He was almost like an extension of Belichick on the field. I mean, just running that defense, making sure guys are in the right spot. Because when they started running that 3-4 where they had guys shifting around, I mean, that'd be pretty confusing for some young players coming in not used to it.
Hey, by the way, we have tackles.
Oh,
Yes.
hey, all right.
What do you have for tackles?
1,074.
Side I went to said 1,110.
Hmm.
I don't know what they're counting, but
That's at least close.
Yeah,
They're close
they are
together
close,
at least.
yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
400 tackles.
Yeah,
apart in there.
we're like 30 some tackles apart.
Yeah.
So
That's manageable.
I mean, plus he also was comeback player of the year after having a stroke. I thought that was pretty impressive.
that was a cool story. Even though I don't really like the Patriots, it was cool like to see him be able to come back on
Yeah.
a football field or something serious like that. So yeah,
I know, just watching him through the 90s and such, he was like the heart of that defense for a long time.
yeah, we're looking at a guy with 1,000 tackles, 30 sacks,
12 picks,
12 picks, 7
17.
fumble recoveries.
17 forced fumbles.
Yeah, he
I mean, not outstanding, but I mean, solid.
he has 4 touchdowns.
I didn't find that one.
Woo.
He returned 4 interceptions for touchdowns in his career.
What were the rest of his numbers after the tackles and stuff and touchdowns?
Tackles for loss, he had 45. What else you want to know?
Just sacks, interceptions, forced fumbles.
30 and a half sacks.
I just listed all those.
I was watching TV.
Yes.
17 forced fumbles.
Yeah, he has 30 sacks, 12 picks, 17 forced fumbles.
Gotcha.
We don't even have a game on.
It's Impractical Jokers. I was enjoying it.
Yeah. You got anything else to add on Brewski?
I mean, won 3 Super Bowls.
He did. He's a one-time Pro Bowler.
7-time team captain. Trying to read my chicken scratches here. I was like, ooh.
I'm waiting for your most famous line, Bob. You've been telling me for almost a decade now that he has the coolest football name of all time.
That he does.
Teddy Bruschi.
I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty cool. Although it throws me off that he spells his name with 1 D.
Yeah. I was Googling him. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, okay, that's right. 1D.
Yep.
Yeah.
He played what? How many seasons?
13?
13.
Yeah, 13.
And he played all over the place. Right outside linebacker, right inside linebacker, middle linebacker, left outside linebacker, left inside linebacker. He's all over the place. He's just a linebacker. All right. Nobody else had Teddy, right?
Yep.
No. All right. So Ray, you got a 4 left, right?
Yep.
Who you got?
I have Julius Adams.
Okay. Well, I don't
Nope.
have Julius Adams.
Okay.
I don't
No.
know.
Yeah, he wasn't in the scandal era, so I thought I'd pick this one. He's got 1 Pro Bowl appearance. Sack totals is 80.5.
Not bad.
Fumble recoveries are at 7. Don't really know a whole lot about him, but the sack total really kind of stood out. So I'm like, well, he's not in the 2022 era, so hey, let's throw him on the list.
He's another guy that doesn't have any big sack seasons, but he was just really consistent for like ever. How many years did he play?
I think it was like 13, 14.
I think it's more than, it looks like more than that. I'm trying to
look more than that.
81,
When did he
1, 2,
play?
3, 4,
71 to 87.
70.
So 15 years, yeah.
He's another guy that don't have tackles for.
Shocker.
And then there's a note underneath the stat line that says sacks prior to 1982 are not official. So
He did win Defensive Rookie of the Year, it says here. No, it said he finished 5th in Defensive Rookie of the Year. I apologize.
oh, okay, that's what that 5 means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a he's an oddly built guy. He's 6'3", 270. It's a big guy for 6'3".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with defensive ends, a lot of times you see, like kind of more of a lean, longer build.
He's just. Ugh.
But yeah, Julius Adams.
His son played linebacker in the NFL for like 7 seasons.
I'll just be honest. I didn't know who this guy was.
Me neither.
I wasn't familiar.
Well, I'm going to take it nobody else had Julius Adams.
No, I remember him. I remember a little about him, but not much. No,
right.
not on my list.
Well, that's everybody's 4, correct?
Yep.
Who has 3s left?
I do.
I do.
Well, I've got a 3 on the other list left.
Go ahead and give us the 3 on the other list.
All
Rick.
right, number 3, air pump needle. Without this needle, they couldn't deflate the ball to make it easier to catch.
Oh boy.
That's fair. Fair
I'm excited for 1 and 2.
I have a pretty good guess.
All right. Well, go ahead, Bob. Who's your number 3?
Oh, I already said.
Oh,
Is
did
that
you
Andre Tippett? Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad.
That's all right.
Uncle Doug?
My number 3 was Ty Law.
Law.
yeah.
Ty Law. Ty Law didn't make my list, but I spent a good portion of time looking at Ty
I
Law.
looked at him too.
Yeah, I like Ty Law.
He did not make my list.
Nope.
So is he only Uncle Doug, huh?
Yeah, that's
This
just
is
me.
going to be a good week then.
Yeah. 3 Super Bowls, 5 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros, 53 interceptions, 7 forced fumbles. I couldn't find the tackles as usual.
Really?
I got him.
Oh, you got him? Okay.
845.
Okay.
That's pretty good for a corner.
It is.
Yeah.
In 15 years. So
Yeah.
Didn't he pick Peyton off 3 times
Yes.
in a
yes.
playoff game?
I've been waiting,
Yeah.
Bob. You got to throw back, buddy.
Yep. He sure did. Peyton, I believe, threw 5 in the game.
didn't I mean not to pick on Peyton, but didn't one of the Cromartie boys pick him off 5 times in one game?
It was something like that. He had
Yeah.
like 6 interceptions in that game.
Yeah.
That was like regular season though.
Yeah, it was regular
Playoff game.
season.
Was
Yeah.
that- we were all sitting at grandma's during the Cromartie game. We were sitting at Grandma Mallett's. We had some family thing, and then I think I pouted and walked out the room.
I just remember quit throwing to that side of the field.
After the second time, you as a quarterback, after you throw one, you're like, okay, he's there. But after the second one, you're done throwing to his side.
Yeah, I believe Cromartie at least got like 4 of them. At least he had a lot that game, 4 or 5. But yeah, Ty Law got him 3 times in the AFC Championship, I believe.
Yeah.
So just one Ty Law, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything else to add, Uncle Doug?
Nope, I'm good.
I mean, he's got 53 career interceptions. He led the league in interceptions twice.
He's in the Hall of Fame now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Some of those older Patriot players are all starting to trickle into the Hall of Fame.
It's our first Hall of Fame player and a couple
Making me
guys.
feel old.
Oh, sorry.
He's on the All 2000s team.
Where else did he play? Didn't he play in Kansas City for a short period of time?
Yeah, after he left New England, he went to the Jets, and then Kansas City, and then back to the Jets, and then to Denver.
Okay. I kind of remember the Kansas City and the Jets a little.
Yeah, he played 10 years in New England, though.
Gotcha.
But it surprised me. He's only a 2-time All-Pro.
The 2-time first-team All-Pro.
Yeah.
No,
No, I
that
went
was
down.
it.
I went down and looked. That's it.
Yeah, me too.
Oh.
It was just he was 2-time first team, no second team.
Huh.
Yeah, because I thought that
Wow.
too when I saw it. I thought, oh, surely he's all pro more than that.
Because I remember there was a time there where there was a legit argument whether he was the best corner in the league.
Yeah, he was good.
So, yeah. All right. Well, who else has a 3 left?
I do.
Go ahead, Drew.
John Hanna.
That's my number 3.
He's my number
Okay.
2.
My number 2.
Yeah, I considered John, but he didn't make my list.
10-time All-Pro, 9-time Pro Bowl. He's on the All-70s and 80s team. So
Yeah.
Dude was a freak.
yeah.
He was good.
Played all 13 seasons in New England.
Yeah.
He's in the NFL Hall of Fame, the College Hall of Fame, and he was in the inaugural inductee of the Patriots Hall of Fame.
Well, ESPN just yesterday and the day before just came out with this thing where they picked the GOATs of every position, greatest player of all time at every position on the field, and John Hannah was voted the second greatest guard of all time in the ESPN thing.
Who was one?
Larry Allen.
Okay.
So it was Larry Allen, and John Hannah finished second in the voting for the greatest guard of all time. So that definitely stood out to me. And yeah, I mean, I knew who he was, and I'd read about him, but I wasn't a John Hannah expert by any means.
Oh, and he started all 183 games of his career.
Wow.
Yeah. 183 of 183.
Yeah.
He's also a 10-time All-Pro.
Yeah, like that's nuts. Like the more I read about him, the more kind of fascinated I got with
I think
him.
there's 7 first teams in there.
Yeah.
7 first and 3
Like,
second.
some people are like, I think, was it you, Bob, that messaged me the other day and was talking to me about how some of the stuff you read, people were calling him the greatest of all time at his position.
Not necessarily just New England, but just of all time.
Yeah. So.
Okay. He's kind of small, though. He's smaller than you expect out of a
He's
guard.
like-
He's 265.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's.
Didn't he play like, what, 70s and 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that
He
era?
came in 73 and retired after 85.
Because he's
Yeah.
on the.
Well, isn't that
70s.
like the same? Sorry.
I said he's on the all 70s and 80s team. He made both.
Yeah, he made both. Yeah.
Yeah, you said that, didn't you? So,
Of course, there's no stats to talk about.
there's
Yeah.
not-
Yeah.
You can't really talk much from linemen.
Mm-hmm. Although he came in 7th one year and the Offensive Player of the Year voting.
That's a
Good,
first.
Really?
That's pretty good
As-
for a lineman.
Offensive lineman.
that's
yeah.
yeah.
The fact he got some votes.
That was in 1979, where Earl Campbell was the MVP with 1,700 yards and 19 touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know a ton about John Hannah, but the more I read, it was pretty fascinating. He was a monster.
Yeah, yeah, and he was on a Super Bowl team, correct? He went to a Super Bowl. I
The
mean,
85.
yeah.
Like how I
When the
pointed at you.
Bears kind of
85.
demolished him.
Yeah.
All right, who has number 3 left? Nobody? All right, who has a 2 left? Ray and Uncle Doug? Go ahead, Ray.
All right. Which one you want to hear first?
Both. Say the weird one first.
Okay. Number 2 is the video camera. Without the video camera, they wouldn't have been able to videotape signals. All right.
I'm still pretty bitter about that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Everybody is. All right. And the actual number 2, Stanley Morgan.
I remember Stanley.
Stanley Steamer is what they call him. 4-time Pro Bowl. 10,352 receiving yards, 67 receiving touchdowns.
How many?
67.
Oh, I have 72 on here.
Well, he played 1 year at Indy, so I didn't count that.
Oh, gotcha.
Let's see. 4-time Pro Bowl. And he's got a punt return TD too, which is kind of interesting. And he's kind of midway on some stat boards like receiving TDs. He's 43rd career. Receiving yards, he's 41st. So I mean, he's got some midway, decently good stats on the record board. So I thought I'd throw him on there, since he's also not in the scandal era of Patriots.
His career average for yards per catch is 19. He led the
That's very
NFL
good.
3 times,
So they were
22,
comparing him
22,
like
and 23.
Randy Moss or something at one point in this article I was reading that his yards per catch were better than Randy's while Randy was there, I think, or something, or the same or identical. I can't remember. But I was like, That was a little before I got into football. Just a little.
So in 1979, he only had 44 catches, but he had 1,000 yards
Oh,
my.
shit.
because he averaged pretty much 23 yards a catch and had
Damn.
12 touchdowns,
Wow.
which led the yards per catch and the touchdowns led the NFL
Wow.
That's nuts. 44 catches.
for 1,000 yards.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you were going to be like, oh, he had 44 catches and like 800 yards. That's a pretty good average. But shit.
Then he does it again 2 seasons later.
2 seasons later, he has 44 catches again for 1,029 yards and a 23.4 yard average.
Good Lord.
Insane.
Yeah.
I am intrigued by this guy.
Yeah.
That is.
He has 6 seasons where he averages over 20 yards a catch.
Mm. That's very impressive.
And again, he made a Super Bowl.
He's got an 85.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's not a Hall of Famer.
Hmm.
How many yards did he have?
Really?
He's got 10,000. Again, we've talked about it
It's a
before.
little less than half of Jerry.
Jerry's a
We have to
cheat
stop.
code.
We have to stop comparing people to Jerry.
That's true. That's true.
We shit on Lynn Swan. so
Yeah, we
bad
made
in,
Liz Swan look about
couple
this
episodes
small
ago.
last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. No, but seriously, like, if Lynn Swan didn't have 4 Super Bowls, he wouldn't be in the Hall. He's not in the Hall because of his stat line. He's in the Hall because of Super Bowl rings and Super Bowl moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But rings get you in the Hall of Fame in almost every sport.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of 60 Celtics that are in the Hall that don't deserve to be there, but they have 8 championships, so they're in the Hall.
Old Yankee players.
Yep.
Yeah.
Old Yankee players just will walk on in. It's just the way it works.
Indeed, it does. All right, Stanley Morgan, another guy I didn't know who he was. So, I mean, Ray's educating me today, I guess.
You're
What did you
welcome.
say his
I
nickname was
vaguely
again?
remember.
Huh?
What did you say his nickname was again?
Stanley Steamer.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, but I think
he's got
Stanley
them
Steamer,
running
I think of like a bruising running back, not like a speed guy down the sideline.
Stanley Steamer, I think it's Stanley Steamer, the certified cleaner.
I kind of like this guy. I might change it to my number 4.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So who else has a number 2?
I don't.
I do.
Uncle Doug?
Richard Seymour.
Oh,
Richard Seymour.
This is a long.
Dude, this is a big list,
This is gonna be
guys.
big.
I think you
I
forgot
told you I
someone,
had some
too.
different guys.
Seymour is.
I think you forgot the
just-
Adams guy.
He's in the Hall of Fame this year, right?
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think he just got in this year. I believe. Isn't
Or maybe it was might have been last.
Was it last year?
He's in the Hall.
Yeah, he's in
Yeah.
the Hall though. Yeah. Of course, 3 Super Bowls, 7 Pro Bowls, 5-time All-Pro, 57.5 sacks.
Yeah, on the All 2000s team.
Yep.
He had 2 seasons of 8 sacks, but none bigger than that.
wasn't he always a great run stuffer? And I think I read somewhere that he was phenomenal at deflecting passes at the line of scrimmage. He once had 10 deflections in one season.
He did. He has 39 in his career, but in one season he had 10.
That's pretty nuts.
He only has 498 tackles in his career.
Yeah, the whole tackle thing. I don't know.
I think he was a big part of their team too. Is he shifted around the defensive line and enabled Belichick to use all of his versatile formations and schemes and all that.
And he also has a touchdown. He picked up a fumble recovery and took it 68 yards to the house.
Nice.
In 2003, he was second Defensive Player of the Year voting with 8 sacks, 56 tackles, 10 pass deflections, and 1 forced fumble.
Who was number 1?
I have to look.
Oh.
Number 1 was Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis had 121 tackles. That was 121 solo tackles
Ooh, that's more impressive.
with 42 assists. So you're looking at 160 tackles, only 1.5 sacks. He had 6 INTs and a touchdown.
Mm.
Yeah, he was a tackling machine.
Yeah.
He was.
Oh, Ray.
Yeah, and Seymour did miss 2 games that year. So.
Damn, we went from a perfect week to this shit. What are we doing?
Ray, did you put Julius up there?
Probably not.
So I don't see. There's another one.
Running out of room.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
goodness.
got quite a few Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
And
So we're going to at least have 9 guys. At least. Unless,
Yeah.
I assume we all have 1 guy left, but unless somebody throws a curveball in there. But
Bledsoe, here I go.
we have Wade's hero.
Mm-hmm.
so, it's,
Your icon.
so nobody else has a 2 left?
Nope.
No.
So we only have 1s left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is everybody's 1 Tom Brady?
Tom Sherrill.
Yeah.
Let's hear
Yes.
Ray's.
Oh, you want me to finish it out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The realistic Mount Rushmore number 1, Robert Kraft. If it wasn't for Robert Kraft being okay with all this and his own prostitution scandal with the Orchids of Asia Spa.
It's actually a hot topic right now with the Deshaun Watson thing.
Because
Yeah.
the
Robert Kraft got brought up in the case.
The judge said that because the NFL didn't do anything to Robert Kraft, they don't feel like they set a precedent that they shouldn't do a whole lot to Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Because it was like Kraft and I think Jared Jones got in trouble for something a while back. It's just like, the owners can just go do whatever the hell they want, prostitution rings.
Right,
and
because
stuff.
the NFL is making the case that they're tarnishing the shield. They're not saying just that it's illegal, it's you're tarnishing the shield. Well, you work for the shield too, so how was your stuff not tarnishing the shield?
Yep.
Yeah, Deshaun's on.
But don't bet on your own team.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley really screwed that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deshaun's getting a quarter for each case he's got on him.
He's not just.
Well, Goodell's going to fix this, though.
He's gonna try.
He can't. There is no try. Goodell has ultimate power.
Right. He rule. If they appeal, which the NFL did,
Yeah.
Goodell gets to rule.
And this is what the players agreed to. Brady went all the way to Supreme Court with it, and every court along the way said, "No, you guys signed this."
Right.
Like the CBA says, he is the ultimate guy. He can give you whatever he wants.
Right.
Like he has the ultimate power.
Oh boy.
And
And-
he didn't even have to do the arbitrator thing.
No.
That was kind of a thing that the owners gave in and said, "Okay, we'll do this arbitration, but we're not giving up."
Yeah, and
Commissioner's power.
the NFL is asking for indefinite, not just a year, indefinite.
Well, they just said on the Rich Eisen show that they have told Deshaun Watson, "We'll give you 2 options. If you don't take one, we're just going to do whatever we want with you." And I guess the one option was, it's one's 12-game suspension, but they're going to fine the shit out of him. Pretty much all that money he made sitting at home doing nothing last year, they're going to take it.
Oh, okay.
And
Cool with that.
And last year is going to be part of his suspension, and he'll miss 12 games this year, and then he can keep his current contract, or he can miss the whole year and do some toll system with his contract where it can roll towards 2023, and it can get canceled if the Browns want to or something like that. And it's, I don't know.
Well, from what I can't remember who it was. Somebody reported the other day that the NFL is super pissed that him and the Browns tried to circumvent
This.
this with the contract.
Yeah.
So the NFL is going to fine him, and they said, the minimum fine that Goodell asked for to the judge was $8 million, which is more than. I mean, he only makes $1 million this year.
Right.
So
out of a $230 million
Yeah.
guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what did they just find that Dolphins owner 1 point something
Ross.
mil?
1.5
tampering?
mil. Yeah.
Well, no,
Come on, bro.
Another
fuck
Brady
1.5 million.
scandal,
Fuck that. The first and third rounders. That's the
Right,
big
that's
screw
what
you
hurt.
there.
Well,
that was.
yeah, but-
I'll be honest with you. I don't even care about the Dolphins. That was horse shit.
Yeah.
Every team
I
in the
agree.
league is doing what is
Right.
tampering, and they're going to take a first and a third. The NBA just takes away second round draft picks for tampering.
Yeah.
Nobody even gives a shit about second round draft picks.
Yeah, but
Your
they
first
had
round
to do
pick.
something because They just had to do it.
I mean, they had to come down on the Dolphins. I get that, but the stuff that everybody's really pissed about the Dolphins with came back unfounded.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
So I don't even know what to think about all that. A first and a third. I couldn't believe it. I was like, a first and a third,
Yeah.
and they're like, and we suspended the owner. Like, and
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Telling you.
But since their coach brought all this stuff to light, they had to do something.
Belichick's playing chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
I guess.
Belichick really screwed the Dolphins, didn't he?
Telling you.
Yeah.
All right, well, old Thomas Edward Brady here.
Oh gosh.
Edward Peck.
He's a 15-time Pro Bowler. He has 3 first-team All-Pros.
He's only 6-time All-Pro.
Yeah, 6-time All-Pro. He has 7 Super Bowls.
5 MVPs in those Super Bowls.
Yeah, 5 Super Bowl MVPs, 3 regular MVPs. He's on the All-2000s team and the All-2010s team. He's a Comeback Player of the Year. He's been Offensive Player of the Year twice.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
84,000 yards.
Yeah, all time.
64% pass completion, 625 TD or 24 TD.
See, Bob, you see why I made that other list? Because I have to sit here and listen to this
He's
crap.
he's
Yeah.
now the all-time leader in both those now, right?
Yeah,
I know he is in
yeah.
yards, but did he
Yeah.
did he pass Breeze in touchdowns?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Yeah, he got him.
He still hasn't caught Favre in picks though.
He might
Well,
not.
I was hoping he does it.
To be
Right?
honest. Like,
Go
Well, of
ahead.
course, now he's not in with the Patriots. so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. But in a way, that kind of, I mean, the fact that he won one without Belichick.
I'm not gonna lie, I was rooting for him in that Super Bowl.
yeah, there were some mixed feelings there with the old Mahomes and Brady for a lot of people.
I was like, Brady's already
Yeah.
got 6. If he gets 7, who cares?
Yeah, that's what I said too. I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? What's the difference between 6 and 7?
Yeah.
Like,
He's got more than every other NFL franchise. Who cares?
That's true.
Yeah.
At this
true.
point, you're like, whatever.
Yeah, I think he pretty much had to be number 1 on our list.
Yeah.
I mean, as
I mean,
much as
it
we
was
all-
cool at first. I was like, "Oh, who's this guy? 7th round pick out of Michigan." I was like, "Oh, we're screwed." I'm like, "All right, we're doing good." And then finally, it got honestly kind of boring. I'm like, "Enough already." I'm like, "Good grief."
here's one for you. The first time Tom Brady led the NFL in touchdown passes, he threw 28. But now he's after that he's led it 4 more times with 50, 36, 36, and 43. And 43 was just last season.
Yeah, he led the league in pass attempts just last year.
Pass attempts, pass completions, yards, and touchdowns all last season at 44 years old.
But one New England record he didn't break was most pass attempts in a game. That's 70 by Drew Bledsoe. I think that he's tied with somebody for actually an NFL record.
Wow, that's a lot of pass attempts.
That's a
probably.
lot. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did write down his completion percentage. It was only 57.1. A little rough.
44,000 yards and 250 TDs.
Well, yeah.
So,
206
I like
picks.
Bledsoe.
Oh, I did too. He'd just
He
go
was
out there and
good.
throw it. He didn't care.
Yep,
Triple coverage. Yeah, whatever. Somebody's going to catch it.
that's right.
Someone's gonna get.
I didn't realize I was reading an article that the game he got hurt, that Brady came in and started the Brady era. He got hit by Mo Lewis. They were playing the Jets, and he was concussed, and he also had internal bleeding, but he went back in and played the next play. But they said they took him out because he literally couldn't say the word left. He knew what he wanted, but he just didn't know what it was called. They're like, all right, you got to get out of the game.
Holy cow!
Probably concussed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the
Wow.
internal bleeding was pretty severe too. They said it could have ended his life. I'm like, man, I don't remember. I was like, I remember that hit, but I don't remember it being that bad.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah, like-
getting hurt, but
It was like they've showed it all the time on TV. Like I mean, obviously it's a very hard hit, but
You don't think he's?
yeah, like can't say the left.
yeah, I don't know what left means anymore. That's a problem.
Not right. Not right.
There you go.
What do you mean not right?
Not right.
He wasn't right.
Oh goodness, that's funny.
But he did come in and save Brady, though. came in when Brady got hurt. Were they playing the Colts?
Is it the first Super Bowl run when he comes
When
in?
they played the Rams, I think.
I'm sad.
Because he got hurt in that AFC Championship game, and Bledsoe came in to
I don't
finish
think
the game
I
off.
thought they were
ankle.
playing the Steelers.
I don't
Was it the
think we
Steelers? I
met you
couldn't
guys
remember.
there.
Because he
Championship
comes
games
in
later.
and wins the game, but then he doesn't get to start the Super Bowl.
Because I think it was a storyline back in the day where people were going back and forth between who should start the Super Bowl, Brady or Bledsoe. Because Bledsoe had came in and saved the day after Brady saved the season. for
Should have been Bledsoe.
I never know.
Well, I was just reading Tom Brady's nicknames on here.
Oh, Jesus.
Some of these are obvious we know about, like TB12, Tom Terrific, Touchdown Tom, the GOAT. But but this one, I can't even talk.
You're being a lot nicer than what I thought you would be right now.
But this one is the Pharaoh. Has anybody ever heard Tom Brady called the Pharaoh?
No. Where'd that come from?
What a throw by the Pharaoh. I haven't heard that one.
Maybe in Michigan they call it
That's like
the
some
Pharaoh.
retarded Collinsworth came up with on TV.
Let me Google where he got his.
That's got to be a
Pharaoh.
Collinsworth comment.
Yeah, probably.
The comeback kid.
Oh my God! Look at the Pharaoh.
And then the last one is Sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
Is that 'cause he's older than most of the players he's playing with now?
That could
Actually, that might be.
be. That might be, yeah.
I just like Peyton's, the sheriff. I like it.
That must have been what they said. Hey, sir, can you please reinflate these balls?
Sir.
Man. So, it's, I can't help but notice that Drew's kind of on an island today. I think you're the only one in the room that Tom Brady didn't cheat to get to a Super Bowl and beat you.
Yeah, he did it.
Yeah,
Does-
you got now.
You
All
got
of
me.
us.
Yeah.
Back to Deflategate. I'm thinking LeGarrette Blunt ran all over you guys that game anyway.
And we lost by like 40 points in that one, right?
Yeah, but still, I mean,
They were
you
close,
can-
Alex.
I mean, at
Just
some
beat
point,
them
you
that
know,
year.
in 22 years, you guys could, at least go by some kind of rule.
You would think.
You would, but it's all right. He's about gone anyway.
Yeah.
Which
The
one?
Deflategate didn't bother me that much. It was just like another one.
Yeah.
They're still
Yeah,
cheating.
if Deflategate happened all on its own, I don't think anybody really would have cared
No.
about it.
No.
But it was the
Like,
fact it was like the third or fourth time they got caught doing something.
Here's the real kicker. You had Spygate, you had Deflategate. They kind of used Deflategate to go back and somewhat punish for Spygate because they literally covered it up.
Yes.
They literally threw the evidence in a fire. It's a real thing.
Yeah, yes.
Anyway, so they kind of went back and made up for some of that because they're like, fuck, we covered it up and you did it again. Like, God damn it. It's been like 5 years. Quit it. And then
They Spygated again.
they got caught in their last year together. They were checking Brady.
They were stealing signs from the Bengals,
Yeah.
and they were like 1-15.
And the retards used the same excuse. They said, we're with Robert Kraft's company. We're making a movie.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
heard this before, guys.
Yeah.
Come with us.
It was it really was the same excuse. It's like Robert Kraft Industries, and it's like
I never quite understood
It's
that. I'm
just
like, why
what?
the Bengals are 1-15?
But now,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Were
Look
you-
at them now.
well,
They're good.
It's because they got a brand new coach. It was Zach Taylor's
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
year, and they had new signals and new audibles.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole philosophy.
So
I
they were
had
1-15.
But they're not. They're not. They weren't last year.
No.
They just made a Super Bowl now.
Yeah.
No, they're. I was rooting for them last year.
Yeah.
I was rooting for him till the Super Bowl.
Man.
I was rooting
yeah.
for them all through the AFC. Yeah, like I don't like any of those
I have
AFC teams.
nothing. I have nothing against the Bengals.
I was leaning more towards the Bengals, but I'm like, if the Rams win, that's cool. Stafford gets a Super Bowl finally. I mean,
Yeah, I did want. I did
a
go
line
for
that actually
Stafford.
got out of Detroit and gets to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's a rare story.
So I got to admit, I like Joe Shiesty.
Speaking of
He's,
Joe Shiesty, I made a purchase. I bought a Joe Shiesty T-shirt.
Oh,
When
there
it
you
comes
go.
in, I'll be wearing it.
Yeah, he wanted to wear it
I'm
tonight.
still a Bears fan, but I like Joe Shiesty.
He is cool. I like Jamar Chase a lot too.
Yeah, I do too.
Jamar Chase is really good.
Well, guys, we have 9 guys.
Yeah.
This is the biggest week ever.
How many are unanimous? Just Brady?
Brady's
The
it.
only one, I think.
Yeah, and then there's a couple with 4.
Yeah, I think Tippett and Gronk had quite a few.
Didn't
I don't know how many Hannah had it.
Hannah
have
like
a-
3 maybe? Who had yeah. I had him. Bob had him.
I had him.
I had him.
Oh, well.
4.
4, okay.
So I guess we can go ahead and write Brady down.
I almost didn't put him on the list, but I'm like, that would be stupid. Not
I know I really dislike Brady, but I was like, I can't. Not only can I not put him on the list, he needs to be number 1.
It would go against my entire argument that I'm making this whole time about popularity if I didn't put Tom Brady on the Patriots list.
Yeah.
That's all I talk about is popularity. So.
All right. Brady.
So we have 1.
1. So I'm going to delete Brady. And then we'll have 8 guys for 3 spots.
Oh, my.
And just for a reminder, they are Andre Tippett, Rob Gronkowski, Teddy Bruschi, Julius Adams, Ty Law, John Hanna, Stanley Morgan, and Richard Seymour. So we have what?
I don't expect you guys to pick Teddy Bruschi. That was just on mine. Just reminds me. I mean, I watched a lot of football in that era.
Well, I will say this: it's not the end all be all, but we do have 3 out of these 8 guys are not in the hall, and it's not because they're waiting to get in.
I was going to say, I didn't know which ones you were counting.
Bruschi, Adams, and Morgan are not in the hall.
Okay.
Right.
Who is Bruschi your all-time favorite, or Bledsoe, or is it someone else?
Bledsoe got me to watch, but then when I watched Bruschi play,
Bruschi.
he's probably my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. All right. So were you wanting to eliminate one of the non-Hall of Famers?
I don't say we have to. I'm just bringing up things. I mean, we do have some repeat positions. If we want to discuss positions, try and narrow those down. If we want, I don't care what we do. This is stuff we've done in the past. I mean, we have Tippett and Adams. They're both pass rushers.
Well, if you want,
And Richard Seymour, I guess.
if you want, I will concede Julius Adams.
Oh,
Okay.
well, that was nice of you, Ray.
You're welcome.
I do believe you gave him, some publicity, and I didn't know who he was. So
I
I
didn't
mean,
know
hey,
that.
I mean that's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, an 80 sack career is nothing to be bashful about.
it's decent. It's decent.
You can take off Bruschi. I'm fine with that.
Hey, what are you doing conceding Bruschi already? You know, hey, what are you doing, man?
All right, well.
Damn.
By the way, Bob, I brought this up to Wade on the phone the other day because he called me and was talking to me about the Patriots stuff, and he said that Bruschi was like one of your all-time favorite players, and I was like, last time Bob was there, I made fun of Teddy Bruschi, and I had no idea he was Bob's favorite player, and Bob didn't say a word. It wasn't a football thing though; it was him making fun of Stafford before the season because he was a loser and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So
Him
He
as
had
a-
to eat his words on that one. It's
Yeah.
all right.
Him as an analyst for
yeah,
ESPN.
him as an
Oh,
analyst,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Now we're down to 6 guys for 3 spots.
Well, most people had Hannah, right? Except was I the only one that didn't have Hannah?
I didn't have Hannah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
didn't
but
either.
The other four of us did.
The other four of us
Who-
did.
I'm okay with Hannah.
I was like, he was my
mean-
number 2. I really liked
Me-
him.
he was
I
my
was
number 3.
He's my number 3.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm definitely okay with Hannah. Hannah and Tippett were the guys that I was back and forth with. So,
And we're what? Bob shy of Gronk?
Oh,
Yeah.
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 And who had Tippett?
I had Tippett.
I had Tippett.
So Ray and Doug again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are we cool with Hannah? So we at least get a second name on the board?
Yeah.
yeah, I go with
Yeah,
Hannah.
go with
Okay.
Hannah.
Okay, John Hanna makes the list.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
I mean, how many more offensive linemen have started every game of their career?
Yeah.
True.
And
True.
I mean, he just got voted second greatest guard of all time by ESPN. So
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool accomplishment, really.
yeah, it was actually. I can read some of that stuff off. It's kind of interesting.
So we have a pass rusher, a tight end, a cornerback, a receiver, and a defensive lineman of some sort. Seymour was kind of all over the place.
that happens in New England.
Yeah.
When you're on the D line or a linebacker, they're
Well, they constantly are switching back and forth between a 3-4 and a 4-3, and sometimes they're
sometimes they
moving
have
guy
the
from
nose
here to
tackle
here.
down,
Yeah.
and then everybody else is just kind of hanging back.
So
it's like, what do you really call you then?
right.
Sorry, this is not football, but it's kind of funny. Apparently, the Angels hit 7 home runs and lost.
Tonight.
I guess that's what it
I'll
says.
say
I know Otani hit
It's one of the
2.
leading headlines on ESPN. Angels blast 7 home runs, but still lose.
His
Oh
baddest
my
throwing a
goodness.
no hitter and losing.
it was like a month ago. Otani had a 9 RBI game and they lost.
What?
Yeah.
He hit 2 home
This
runs
is
tonight.
insane.
I don't know how many RBIs he had. If you go to ESPN.
Yeah, I know. It says he hit 2 home runs,
Let's go.
but I just thought that was funny to bring that up.
Well, the pitchers can't complain about no run support.
Yeah. Crazy part is he's been pitching great this season too.
Yeah, he's like in the Cy Young contention. He could so easily win the MVP again, even though his bat is not what it was last year, because his bat is still decent, but now he's like a Cy Young candidate. So it's like he's still between the two doing more for his team than everybody else in the league.
They hit 7 solo home runs.
They were all solo.
Yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Look at them there. It's crazy. And the A's beat them 8-7.
And the A's are the worst team in baseball.
The A's are terrible.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, that list of all the goats at every position, I have it pulled up real quick.
Cool.
They broke it down to like it's not like, well, you'll just see. Like
I think I just looked at some of the positions you're
I
talking
saw
about.
some
Wait,
of these.
yeah.
pretty intriguing, some of them. The greatest edge rusher ever. So it's DNs and outside linebackers and all that. Lawrence Taylor.
Okay.
And then number 2, I believe, was Reggie White.
Mm-hmm.
With Bruce Smith and J.J. Watt each receiving 1 vote, bringing up the rear. Greatest defensive tackle ever, they voted Aaron Donald. With number 2 being Joe Green and Deacon Jones, 3rd. And then each receiving 1 vote was Alan Page, John Randall, my boy, and Warren Sapp.
Still didn't make a list.
Greatest linebacker ever was Ray Lewis.
Like standard linebacker. Like
Yes.
Off ball.
Yes, apparently.
That
And
remind
then-
me, they considered that Tippett the AFC's version of LT.
Yeah, he was nasty for about 5 years. And the
He got
runners
hurt.
up to Ray Lewis were Butkus, Singletary, Jack Lambert, then but there's like 5 guys with 1 vote. Greatest cornerback ever was Dion. Also, number 2 was Charles Woodson. Number 3 was Rod Woodson. Then Jarrell Revis. And then Champ Bailey, Mel Blunt, Night Train Lane all got 1 vote. Greatest safety ever was Ronnie Lott. With the second place was Ed Reed. And Brian Dawkins was 3rd, actually. So, yeah. That was the defense.
Brian Dawkins will make a list. Was it next week?
Yeah, next week's the Eagles.
Yeah, he'll make a list. I guarantee you.
I hate to give you the stamp of guarantee.
Yeah.
All right. So, any other positions you want to go over real quick, Wade, before we go back to our list?
Oh, no. I just wanted to read
Did
some
Scott
of the other
Norwood
stuff.
make the kicker list?
No, it was Vinatieri.
So isn't the offense coming out like next week or something like that? Isn't that just wasn't it just defense first?
Oh, that one was. I think offense came out
I think
before.
offense came out.
Oh,
yeah.
offense came out earlier? All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was all the defense stuff, and now I have to go back and find the offense if you want to see it. But
What was that defensive back named Wade that we were talking about for the Patriots? That spent like 8 years there and 8 years as
the Raiders. Was it Haynes?
Mike Haynes.
Yeah, Mike Haynes.
Yeah, he was-
He was kind of on my list. Radar.
He's somebody I looked at too. Yeah, he had a Super Bowl, 9 Pro Bowls, 8-time All-Pro, Rookie of the Year, 46 interceptions, 11 forced fumbles.
I was between after you told me about him on the phone. I was between him and Tippett for my 4th spot. I went back and
one
forth.
article I was reading. They said he was Revis Island before Revis was even
Yeah,
around.
Haynes
He
was
was
good.
super fast.
He was good. Yeah, I had a tough time with this. I had a lot of guys I liked.
By the way, this is a little off topic, but I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they had James Jones on, the old receiver.
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking about divisions, and they were talking about how stacked the AFC West was, and he picked the Chiefs to come in last in their division.
I mean, there's a possibility, honestly.
Yeah.
Who'd you say did that?
James Jones.
Okay, yeah, that's who I.
And it's legit.
listened
I
I
mean,
mean, somebody's got to lose.
to. He's,
Yeah.
yeah. If we listen to the same thing, the one I listened to with him
It
on.
was Russillo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said on paper they're the worst of the four by far.
Yeah.
Like, so
He said they have the most questions about what they're going to do with who's going to play there. Is that player going to be any good? You know, they're relying on rookies and guys that have never had big years before. And
he flat out said they have the worst defense.
yeah,
yeah, they lost
Yeah.
Tyrann Matthews, leader of their secondary.
Now they did sign Justin Reed, who was a really good safety to replace him, but he doesn't do all the things that Tyrann Mathieu does. Tyrann Mathieu is like a jack of all trades safety.
Right.
Yeah.
He does a little bit of everything. Justin Reed is more of a pass play guy. You know, he's back there, he's defending the pass, he does a good job at it, you know, but he doesn't do all the other things that Tyrann Mathieu does. So all right, we have five guys for 2 spots. Richard Seymour, Stanley Morgan, Ty Law, Rob Gronkowski, and Andre Tippett.
So how many of us had Gronk?
5.
All of us
All
but
of us
Bob.
but Bob.
So can I
But
ask
he
why?
deserves to be on there.
Okay. You don't like
Oh.
Gronk? Is that it or what?
I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, fabulous player, but I don't know. He just too cocky, too arrogant. I guess on the field, I just didn't care for it.
Fair enough. But
He's good. Oh yeah, I mean, he deserves to be on there. But I'm just gonna give him the snub just because I can.
All right, so we can put Gronk on the list there.
Right.
All right, that's gonna be a tough 4th spot.
Yeah, so we only have 4
Yeah.
guys for 1 spot.
All right, so we got
So I'll say, if you're going Tippett, I can forego Seymour Law if it's for Tippett. Who's the other one?
Stanley Morgan.
I'll say I would
Oh, is that the wide
forego
receiver?
Seymour
That's
Law
Stanley
for Tippett
Steamer.
because I almost had Tippett on there anyway.
Okay. I mean, obviously, I had Tippett, but
Mm-hmm.
I see it.
But I do like Stanley Morgan too.
Oh, no.
I was intrigued by this Stanley Steamers guy. I like him.
I'm not gonna lie. If I got to pick anything that was said today, I'd pick the camera.
Yes.
Put the camera at 4.
There's the field we saw last week,
Yeah.
Drew.
They just showed the Sunday night little thing they have there. Of like
Sorry, Drew.
Carrie Underwood dress that she wore. Stuff. Like their Emmy
Oh,
that they
nice.
won.
So everybody knows what we're talking about. The Hall of Fame game is on currently on the TV.
We have found a sports game finally.
Yeah. It's been a while since we recorded an episode while watching a sporting event. The NBA playoffs, I guess, would be the last time we did that. But anyway, since the Jaguars are on the TV, how good do you think the Jaguars are going to be this year?
I don't see them.
I think they'll be improved from last year, but they're still not going to be good.
I mean, we pay Christian Kirk $84 million.
Here's the thing, though. They way overpaid Christian Kirk, but Christian Kirk is an upgrade over what they had.
Oh, he's definitely
They
an upgrade.
upgraded
but
on 2 or 3 positions,
Yeah.
and most of all, they upgraded coach.
Yes, huge upgrade at coach.
Urban Meyer was a fool,
yeah, he.
and that's saying it nicely.
And had, no offensive system at all.
Yeah,
He didn't know how to do anything. He literally abused his kicker. That was literally a thing for a while.
Did you
he
guys
kicked
see the
his
other
kicker.
day
Yeah.
what the kicker what happened, the situation with the kicker at at Jacksonville last week?
Last week?
Yeah, so I guess they brought in some Make-A-Wish kid, he's has a ton of health problems and special needs and stuff, and the kicker shanked a kick and drilled the kid.
Oh no!
Oh, was that the one that got cut? The
And
next
they
day?
cut him. Yeah, they cut him afterwards. Yeah, I don't know if that was the last straw, or they were so embarrassed they had to do it, or if it was just what happened. But yeah, they cut him afterwards.
I would have probably just quit. They wouldn't have had to cut.
I'm just like I'm
done.
Like, I kind of feel bad for everyone in that situation.
Yeah. Well, here's
Why
my
is
thing:
Patrick
is
Mahomes
why was the
king
kid
on
in
this?
a
Because they've won
position
6 straight
to get
AFC
hit with
titles.
something?
Right.
He wasn't
yeah.
even there for over what? Like,
He was not there for all 6 of them. Alex Smith definitely won like
he
2
was
or
there
3
for
of
what? 3 of them?
What are we talking about?
They just said
They
they had Patrick Mahomes with a crown on, said defending the AFC palace or castle, and it was him with a crown on, saying he's won 6 straight division titles. Hasn't been in the league 6 years.
Yeah, he won like 3 of the 6.
Yeah, Alex Smith won the. They just hate on Alex Smith. I mean,
Yeah, did people forget the Chiefs were good before Mahomes got there?
They weren't just good; they were like an AFC Championship
Right.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were in the playoffs every year, pretty much after Andy Reid got there.
And
And
like
the Colts would get rid of them every year.
we did a couple of times. We
they
a
did
couple
blow the
times.
lead that one year, and then your running back fumbled. Andrew Luck picked it up and ran
Right
it
back
in.
in.
I'm pretty
We came
sure-
back from like 20.
Oh, and then
Mahomes' rookie year, Alex Smith had like 4,800 yards and like 30 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and then they
And
lost.
he got paid.
and then he got his leg broke.
yeah, that was
horrific.
gruesome, man.
He almost
That was-
died.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he really
almost died.
did.
Then
Yeah,
after he wasn't going to die, he almost lost his leg.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
like,
just-
it was rough.
that was the thing. He did not play great when he came back, but it was just so crazy to see him back out on a football
Right,
field
yeah.
It
afterwards.
would take a lot to go back out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, he didn't
Me-
play
mentally-
for quite a while.
And then he played like Aaron Donald his first game back.
yeah.
Oh yeah, because I remember people being scared about it. They're like, "Oh
Yeah.
my God, he has to play Aaron Donald."
But the crazy thing is when he came back, he started 5 games and Washington went 4-1. Like
Yeah.
the guy just takes care of the ball.
Right.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before his leg injury, he was actually very athletic.
Yeah.
he ran
Well,
around.
yeah.
Well,
He
in
was fast.
college, he ran the pistol.
Right.
Wasn't
Yeah.
it Utah?
For
Yeah.
Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he
That's
was.
where Urban Meyer made his name, was at Utah with Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Alex Smith was drafted ahead of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, because that was the
Yeah.
debate. Who's
Yes.
going first, Rodgers or Smith?
Yeah.
And then Smith went 1 overall, and Rodgers went like 20th or something.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for his career, he has better stats than Troy Aikman.
I love that that's our standard now with all these quarterbacks, is comparing them to Troy.
He has over 35,000 yards, 199 touchdowns, which is more than Troy Aikman, and he has less interceptions than Aikman with 109. And he has a bunch more rushing yards than Aikman.
Well, I will say that, and he played a conservative style of football. I will say this: we were talking, Wade and I. We were sitting in the hospital the other day. Of course, Josh and Jeremy are there too, and they're big Cowboy fans.
Yeah.
So the Aikman conversation came up, and some of their arguments, and we don't have to worry about them hearing it because neither one of them are going to listen to our episodes. But some of their Aikman arguments were interesting. Like one of them was, well, Aikman would get him all the way down the field, and then they would let Emmett carry it in. That's why he doesn't have very many touchdowns. And I'm like, you mean the guy that led the league in rushing all the time? Like he wasn't getting you down the field?
Let's be honest. Every Aikman argument leads back to he's a winner.
Yeah.
He's a winner, man. He's a
Yeah.
winner. I don't know. I'm not going to get too deep in my Aikman conversation yet.
We'll save that for the Cowboys.
I'll say it's coming up.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
Cowboys are coming.
Yeah, the Cowboys are coming quickly. So anyway, we gotta narrow this down, guys. We got 4 guys for 1 spot.
Yep.
Tippett, Law, Morgan, and Seymour. Ray, can we get rid of the non-Hall of Famer?
Oh, is that what we're doing? Hall of Famers?
I did like your pick this week, Ray. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I
He,
like
he
Stanley.
intrigued me quite a bit.
What was that? The camera?
Oh, well, that was funny too. But
Yeah.
Well, I guess since there's already 2 non-Hall of Famers on the list, I guess I'll concede my non-Hall of Famer.
2. Who's
Yeah,
not in the
Brady's not in the
Brady
Hall.
and Gronk.
Hall? Oh, well, yeah.
They
but
both will
They
be.
will be.
Yeah.
It's kind of like our Terrell Reeves pick.
indeed. Who also made the ESPN list, by the way. He was like 3rd or 4th corner.
All right, so now there was 3. Tippett, Law, and Seymour. 3 Hall of Famers.
I said I'd give up Lon Seymour for Tippett.
Cool with me. I had
I'm
Tippett.
cool.
I
I'm
had
cool with it.
Tippett.
Ray. Well, did you have Law or Seymour, Ray?
No.
No, it's just me. I'm
Okay.
the only one that had Seymour and Law.
Okay.
Oh,
So are we cool with Tippett then? Everybody's cool with Tippett?
Sure.
I'm cool with it.
Sure.
All right. I'm getting back on track, guys. It's 2 weeks in a row with my list.
Yeah, that's my list.
It's my list.
Yeah.
All right, there we
Back
go.
on track. That's 2 weeks in a row for you too, Drew, ain't it?
Yeah.
All right. So to
No,
recap,
3.
our
Did we
Mount
have the Jets?
Rushmore for
Oh,
the
yeah,
New
we had the
England
Jets,
Patriots
yeah.
is Tom
Baby.
Brady, Rob Gronkowski, is it John Hanna?
Yes.
Yes.
John Hanna and Andre Tippett. I had taken him off my screen, so I was like, "Is his name John?"
That's a pretty good list, and it covers quite a range of years there.
We got
Yeah, we've got different years. We've got different positions. We've got different sides of the ball. We have our third or fourth offensive lineman to make a list.
yes.
We had Ogden made a list.
Without your
Anthony
offensive line,
Munoz.
I mean,
Anthony Munoz made a list. What'd you say?
without your offensive line, I mean, what would the quarterback and running back be? I mean,
Yeah.
they deserve a little love.
Joe Thomas.
Yeah, Joe Thomas made a list. Yeah, you're
We've been
right.
giving the offensive lineman love.
We actually have quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm sure there'll be some more.
We'll get some Tony Baselli in there and some other stuff.
Oh, yeah, I
Tony
mean-
Baselli he's going in the Hall of Fame tomorrow.
I'm going to assume that
Or
Larry
Saturday.
Allen probably makes the list.
Who'd you say?
Larry Allen.
Maybe with the Cowboys. It's the Cowboys.
I'm sure there's a couple more we're forgetting from somebody else.
Walter Jones for the Seahawks.
Yeah, that could be a possibility. Definite
What
possibility.
about Pace?
Yeah, I was gonna say Orlando Pace.
Yeah, Orlando Pace.
Well,
yeah.
and
The Rams
Jackie
are-
Slater, an older Ram.
Walter Jones for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
He's a great one.
I'll be honest with you. There's a possibility of the Eagles having an offensive lineman on their list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason Peters.
To be honest with you, Jason Kelsey could probably make a list.
Either one, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you seemed very perturbed by that, Wade.
No, I'm fine with Kelsey. I was just gonna. I've talked to Dalton about his list, and he really likes Kelsey, and is considering Kelsey for his list. But I just wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna wait.
Well, I mean, for me, Kelsey is in consideration. I locked in a couple of guys really quickly, and then had to work out the rest. But yeah,
Are we ready for my question?
yes. You're
Glad you're ready to
trivia.
go.
Let's do it.
All right. What NFL player has the most receiving yards in a game?
In a game, huh?
I have a guess. Anybody?
I think somebody passed my guy up, but I'm going to mention him anyway.
Okay.
Bob, you got something there? All right.
My marker won't write, but I'll say something.
Hey Ray,
Yeah.
are the guests gonna
Thank you.
extend their lead this week?
Well, we'll see.
All right. Is that everybody?
Yeah.
All right. I said Marshall.
Okay. Okay.
I said Henry Ellard.
Okay.
I was going Calvin Johnson.
Okay.
And I said Mr. Rice.
And for those of you that don't know, Bob said Randy Moss.
My bad.
It's Flipper Anderson.
Yeah, that's the other guy I was thinking of. He was another Ram.
Calvin Johnson is second.
Ah,
Flipper Anderson had 336 yards.
That's a lot of yards.
Flipper. And I was debating Flipper or Henry, but I thought maybe Marshall had passed him. But I should have stuck with my round the Ram. Good question, Drew.
Yeah, I like that question, Drew. All right. Who would like to go next?
I have mine.
All right. Let's go, Willard.
I found this one rather entertaining. All right, it's kind of long. Go listen. What quarterback has the worst passer rating in the fourth quarter / overtime in the playoffs over the past 30 years?
That's
And
so.
fourth quarter and overtime in the playoffs of all time.
Pretty much, who's sucked the most in the past 30 years in the playoffs in the fourth quarter?
They gotta be good enough to get there, but then just choke it away.
Yes.
I know the perfect one for this one.
You wrote down Aaron Rodgers, didn't you, Ray?
I'm not saying.
He wrote down Aaron Rodgers,
I'm not saying.
but he
that pick.
protects his QBR enough, I think.
Yeah. Ray's
All right.
hatred for Aaron is pure.
It's even more than Drew's.
No, it's not. Words don't describe the hatred I have for that man.
For the owner of your franchise.
No, he's not the owner. I was so proud of you guys for not bringing that up during the Bears episode.
All right, I got an answer.
I do too.
I got one too. Kind of reminds me of that meme I sent you today, Wade.
Oh, that was funny.
I almost spit my tea out when I was reading it.
When you sent it to me, I almost put it in our podcast group message. But then I ended up falling asleep. But
All right, I got one.
All right, everybody?
I got a guess.
Yeah.
All right. Lamar Jackson.
I put Jay Cutler.
I said Eli Manning.
I said Mr. Rogers.
I also said Aaron Bitch Rodgers.
it's Jimmy G.
Jimmy G.
I should have. Man.
But Jimmy G's a winner, Wade.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a winner. He's a winner. He just beat Aaron Rodgers.
Neither of them could score a touch.
Bob, your boy Bledsoe's third has the third worst.
That doesn't surprise me.
The top five's not pretty.
He was trying to be a winner. He was trying too hard.
All
Brock
right.
Osweiler made the win.
I'll go next.
All right, Uncle
In fact,
Doug.
he made a
Moving around the
playoff
room
game.
here. All right. In Patriots history, they have a couple 200-yard receiving games. Name the two guys.
200-yard receiving games, huh?
One comes to me pretty quick, I believe. I got to dig and think for the second one.
I'm just writing down two.
Can you repeat the question?
They have two 200-yard receiving games where a receiver got 200 yards. Can you name the two receivers that did it?
Does this include tight ends?
Yes.
Okay.
Boom.
Oh, I thought I saw this when I was looking at the one. Oh, I think this was this.
I feel like I can't go for the obvious names, or at least not.
I'm going to throw a
The two
wild card
most
in there.
No, I gotta
Good
go
idea.
with the obvious.
All right, I think I saw. I think.
I'm still mad that I missed Flipper.
Are we all ready?
I have answer.
I have guesses. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I said Moss and Welker.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Oh, no one else goes. I put Gronk and Welker.
Okay.
Someone say.
Those are turn your answers over,
I
guys.
put Welker and Terry Glenn actually.
Ooh,
Oh, I forgot about
good
Terry.
guess.
I said Gronkowski and Randy Moss.
I said Moss and Morgan.
It is actually Wes Welker and Terry Glenn.
Wow.
Nice.
I didn't think it'd be Gronk.
I can't believe I forgot about Terry.
I knew Welker did it, but I didn't.
Our first point of the night.
Let's go.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Ray, you go.
Yeah, let's see which one I want here.
Let me see which one I want here.
Okay. Who leads the NFL with 400-yard passing games since 2018?
Okay.
So who has the most 400-yard passing games since 18?
Right. Give me the player.
Well, I kind of feel like it's obvious, but then I feel like he wouldn't ask the question because he's always trying to ask these tricky questions.
That's right. It's called playing defense.
I got one.
by trick. Yeah.
Today's NFL, there's so many options.
Yeah.
Everybody's throwing for a bunch of yards.
All right, I got to guess.
I got to guess.
See if I can help Bob.
Since what year?
2018.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I think it's Matt Castle, personally.
You might be right.
Good old Matt Castle.
Who went, 11-5 with the New England Patriots?
Yes, he did.
Didn't make the playoffs, right?
Right?
Nope.
I I wonder what Belichick's record in Indianapolis without Brady is. 'Cause that has to be pretty decent.
In New England.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you count the Browns seasons, it's awful. But like, he went 11-5 with Matt Castle. Those 4 games he was suspended, they won 3 of them.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy G won 2, and Brissett won 1.
And they just made the playoffs.
They just made the playoffs. Then last year, the year before that, with Cam Newton, they were 8-8.
So, yeah, something like that.
So I bet he has a decent winning record without Brady in New England.
All right, I got a guess.
All right.
Sure,
Let me,
so
Anybody?
let me remind the listeners. Who leads the NFL with 400-yard passing games since 2018?
I said Stafford.
I said Mahomes.
Herbert.
I said Mahomes.
I said Russell Wilson.
The correct answer is Dak Prescott with 9.
Oh, I knew it was going to be someone none of us were immediately thinking of.
I didn't see that coming. And when Wade said Herbert, I was like, ooh, that's a good guess.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, you think, though, Dak, he's always playing from behind or trying to squeak the game out in the end, so he's always flinging it downfield, or he's getting shit yards at the end because they're getting blown out, so it's just...
Yeah, he does put up a lot of shit numbers.
He does.
All right, is that everybody?
But, hey, he's an elite quarterback.
Bob, are you going to ask a question?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you guys know what famous football player was drafted by the Expos in '95?
Oh, Jesus, no. Why the Expos?
I have
have
my
a guess,
answer.
yeah.
I feel good about it, actually.
have my
I do too.
I think I know
I've heard
this one.
Yeah, I got it.
Uh-oh, Ray. You might...
Ray, you don't want to go back to last.
Well, it's looking that way.
I'm feeling pretty confident about this one, too.
I'm pretty sure I know this.
Yeah, I think so, too. Uncle
God,
Doug,
I hope Uncle Doug doesn't get that.
I'm drawing a blank.
I need this lead extended, boys.
I could tie the guests if I get this right.
There you go.
And then watch Bob.
That's Bob gets your question.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Uncle Doug?
Go ahead. I'm drawing a
Okay.
blank.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Deion Sanders.
It was Tom.
All right.
Yeah. Woo.
I didn't even realize he was
I remember hearing that he got drafted by the old Expos.
I was at it was a trivia night somewhere, and we were playing, and everybody at the table looked at me. I'm like, 95 Expos? I'm like, I didn't watch baseball that much back then.
Yeah, especially the Expos.
And they had multiple choices like Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning, and I think there was another one. I can't remember the fourth quarterback, and I was like, I don't know. I know it wasn't Tom, and then, yeah, it was. I'm like, oh.
And the only
I
reason
didn't know he played baseball.
yeah, a lot of quarterbacks pitched a lot, or I guess not necessarily pitched, but played baseball.
I think if you can throw a football 60 miles an hour, you can probably throw a ball 90 miles an hour.
Right.
A baseball, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, I guess that's me. All right, my question is pretty straightforward. In what year were the Patriots founded?
Ooh. Just got to think of a year.
Shit.
How old are? I'm trying to think of how old the Patriots are. I don't think they're old, but they're not new either.
Whatever, I'll just say it.
I'm just write a year down.
I got a guess.
I do too.
Yep.
I do too, but I can't remember for sure.
I
I seen it today, and it's...
Yeah. I know I've read it somewhere, but I don't remember it. So I'm just going to get a little guess here.
Is that everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do we got?
62.
I said 63.
62.
I said 60.
I also said 62.
60.
Go,
Drew just got 3 points tonight.
Wow. I think he caught me, passed me.
No, he caught you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go, Drew.
This top of the leaderboard is getting interesting.
What a night.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, if Wade wouldn't have gotten the Brady question right, this would have gotten real interesting.
Yeah.
But Daddy got it.
All right. After this week's tallies, the scores are as follows. In first place is Wade with 13 points.
Go Wade.
No, not go Wade. What the hell?
I actually knew the Tom Brady question from Bob.
See, I was thinking we discussed it, but I couldn't remember.
I think you sent me the text after that trivia night telling me about it.
And then now tied for second place is Drew and Doug with 11 points.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Now actually not tied anymore with Ray is Alex with 4.
Yeah, with that layup of a Hail Mary of a question.
I don't believe you got it correct, sir. We've been on the same team this whole time, and now you're hating on me?
Yeah, that's what happens when you leave the island.
All right, and that'll leave Ray. And we appreciate you tuning in this week for our New England Patriots episode. And thank you, Bob, for coming for another
Thanks
episode.
for having me, guys.
We appreciate it.
Anytime.
And we would appreciate you tuning in next week as we move on to a new division where we will be discussing the NFC East. And I do believe first is the Philadelphia Eagles, my favorite team. So thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.